Let's now turn our attention to this. Defender Democracy is currently hosting a press briefing where it will share preliminary insights from its Election Watch Observer campaign. These are live visuals from there.
24A application, power outages at voting stations in the south of Johannesburg, and isolated incidences of political tension. Yet despite these administrative issues, observers indicate that voting had gone off smoothly and that all went well. Defender Democracy's observer reports complement the Human Science Research Council's election satisfaction survey, which found that despite the technical issues, 92% of voters felt that the elections were free and fair. This was underpinned by a prevailing sense that there was freedom to make political choices without any form of force, or pressure, or intimidation. Furthermore, throughout the electoral period, Defender Democracy has communicated with fellow observer organizations whose initial reports similarly reflect that the overall integrity of the elections has been maintained. We do, however, believe there is room for improvement. Issues related to voter management devices must be sorted out by the IEC once and for all. Voters should not have to wait hours to cast their ballots. Voter education, especially around changing one's residential address in order to vote, or details around the Section 24A application. All these needed to have been conducted more extensively. IEC staff must be better prepared to deal with all kinds of scenarios at the voting stations. We call on the IEC and Electoral Court to investigate and swiftly resolve the disputes that are lodged by political parties and independent candidates where there is credible evidence. We also call on the IEC to thoroughly investigate and account for why its leaderboard system malfunctioned. The leaderboard system allows for real-time transparency of the result, and it is fair to have expected the IEC to prioritize the proper functioning of technical systems in this regard. Once the results are finalized, we call on all political parties and independent candidates and all South Africans to accept the outcome of the elections. This is what political contestation in our constitutional democracy demands. We also urge the security cluster to be on alert for any potential disruptions or forms of destabilization. The period that follows the announcement of the electoral results requires political maturity and exemplary leadership. While at all times political parties should place the interests of the people first, this moment truly requires this particular principle to underpin decision-making. As coalition discussions potentially get underway, political parties must make decisions that are guided by a sound policy framework that will benefit all who live in South Africa. It should not be about political parties negotiating who gets what part of the pie. Coalition making needs to be collaborative and inclusive and to enjoy broader societal support. It should entail active engagement with civil society and other sectors throughout the process. Defend Democracy thanks all observers who registered to be part of the Election Watch campaign. It extends special gratitude to the 80 organizations who supported this campaign and fielded observers. Election observers responded to the call to be active citizens. We hope that this can be translated into citizen accountability work as new administrations are established at national and provincial levels. As we continue our work of safeguarding democracy, we need to interrogate the reasons for the declining number of voters and those registering to vote. This trend must be reversed in the interest of democracy in the long term. Defend Our Democracy will be preparing a more detailed election observer report, which will be shared with the IEC and be made publicly available to help improve the way in which future elections are run. And this statement is endorsed by the following organizations, civil society organizations: Active Citizens Movement, Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, the Anglican Church of Southern Africa, Be the Future Foundation, Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution, Council of African Independent Churches, Freedom Under Law, the Gandhi Development Trust, Kopanang Africa Against Xenophobia, Lawyers for Human Rights, Legal Resources Center, Lands Politics, Muslim Students Association Union, Msunduzi Association of Residents, Ratepayers and Civics, Muslim Youth Movement, My Vote Counts, NCDF, Public Affairs Research Institute, Strategic Dialogue Group, the Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation, Klo Chulu Foundation, Watville Community Action Network. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Reverend Moss. I'm going to ask Andre Sibanyoni to come in and go through snippets from statements that have been released by Groundwork Collective, Activate, Msunduzi Residents Association, Groundwork Collective, Democracy Development Program, KSAC, and SAFTO. Do you want to grab a chair maybe? And just Activate is here, so they'll go through their statement.
Okay. Good afternoon, colleagues. This is a statement from Groundwork Collective, and it reads as follows. Working with other civil society organizations like Defend Our Democracy and the Development Democracy Program throughout the preparation stage